Welcome. My name is Marlisa, and you are here for some modern wisdom today. And I want you to think of what modern wisdom would mean to you, and I'll share with you what it means to me. So modern wisdom is when you combine a spiritual soul who has so much knowledge in this modern, fast-paced world with technology, with thoughts, with all these other people. So it's almost creating the bridge between the two. And that is what modern wisdom means to me. And so I want you to consider that. Is there a part of you that you feel like is grounded and stable and from the old world that's trying to operate in this high-speed extroverted new world? So when I ask the question, modern wisdom, what are the things that come up for you? And while you're thinking about that, I'll just introduce myself a little bit further. I create life designs for highly sensitive people, for empaths. My name is Marlisa. Welcome. I am the Juicy Life Coach, and you're here today to learn a little bit more about highly sensitive people, empaths, sensitive souls, intuitives, all of those types of beings. We put a name to them, but really it's more about the feeling. We feel more things than we can actually name or give a label to. So with this great modern wisdom, it comes with some responsibility. And the responsibility is there for you to take it if you would like, if you choose to take it. And what I want to share with you is that with this modern wisdom, you have a gift. And this gift that you've been bestowed on can feel heavy at times because you sense things, you feel other people's feelings. And so you have this gift, but what you choose to do with it is master it. So this is how it works, is that it has the possibility of mastery. What does that mean? Well, when you want to master something, it means you learn about it. It means you take ownership of it. It means that you're in the driver's seat of it. So without this mastery, all of these feelings and thoughts and intuitive things that we have, becomes a drain without mastery. So you're not in the driver's seat unless you're in the mastering process. And this is one of the things I'm going to talk about today. So without this, it is a drain. And I'm sure you guys know what that feels like. It feels like you walked into a conversation and you didn't ground yourself first. And the next thing you know, you feel like you've been sideswiped by a comment, a feeling, an introduction of a new topic. And you find that you lose your voice. You're maybe trying to figure it out so much in your head that you forget to speak up and use your voice, or even ask for a pause. So the types of people that we label, again, this is a label because, this is how society works, we can name it, is highly sensitive person, which is the shortcut is HSP. And the other type of person that this applies to is an empath. And an empath would be someone who can feel other people's feelings. They can sense things. They can hear things. And I don't mean that in a way that would cause anyone concern. It means that they have an inner voice that is very knowing. And so these are the two groups of people that I work a lot with. And the reason why is because I am both of those things. So I understand it very well. And I understand how until you learn about it, it really is a drain until you learn how to use this gift and how to share it with others and how to take care of it. And so when we talk about empaths, we all have empathy. So everyone has some of this in them. Some people might call it intuition, and you can grow it. If you weren't born with it as a sensitive, knowing thing that you move around in the world, you can grow this. And what is so great about being an empath, because empathy is the ability to understand and listen to someone else at the depth of feeling that they're having. It's like you're on the same plane with them. That is empathy. You understand, you hear. Being an empath, it means that you can have that feeling and understanding without speaking to the person. So sometimes you can sense it by their physical presence. Sometimes they say something, but you know all the feeling that's behind it. It doesn't match their words. So you get really strong messages that can come in different ways, through nature, through people, even through inanimate objects. And so what I want to share with you about these two qualities that we all have a little bit, but some of them are extremely higher senses, is that these aren't really accepted in the extroverted world. The extroverted world is not a welcoming place for the HSP or empath. And I want to rename highly sensitive person as highly soulful person, because I think that describes it a lot more clearly. For me, I feel the word sensitive means that like there's something wrong, like it's oversensitive, like it's not normal, when in fact, this makes up 25% of the population. So a quarter of the population, think of 25% of the people that you know, 25% of the people that are in your family, in your workplace, in your office, at the grocery store, at the doctor's office when you go there, at soccer games, everywhere. So a quarter of those people have this heightened awareness or ability. And the reason why I want you to really think about that is if you are one or if you're around one, because it affects the way that we interact with each other. For example, if you knew that some of the parents on your child's baseball team, not that you have to know they're empaths, but if you know that they like to sit on their own and they don't ever engage in the groups of conversations with other parents about what's going on, who's playing for who next year, what they think of the coaches. A lot of times in looking back in my experience, people would say, oh, they're really shy, or perhaps they thought they're even rude or not social, or again, some other judgment on them, when they could just be so highly attuned. They already know what's going on over there, and they're just staying in their own energy. And that they would welcome if you came over and talked to them one-on-one, and you could have a great conversation and you could find out lots of things. So looking at it from the view of someone engaging with someone who seems to be in their own energy, that's how you do it. We easily get overwhelmed, which is why you will rarely find empaths, HSPs hosting large parties, hosting large meetings, going up to a group of people, wanting to be heard, like coming into a group and saying, I have an idea. And so this is why I want the people to know how to engage with us. And as far as us being HSPs and empaths, I just want you to consider how the other person is viewing the situation, that they might not have the tools to engage you. And that's something that you can show them. You can walk up to one person. You can have a conversation with, the person that you feel the most comfortable with. You can describe your thought about a work environment or a product or something to do with your career. You can describe it to that one person that you feel more connected with. So I want you to think of how you can still stay in your energy, but you can still share your amazing ideas, thoughts, conversation, everything you have to offer. And so the thing that both of these people have in common is They give a lot. They feel, and they do without getting back. And so in a way, that's really great because it means they're always there. They're always supporting. They're very loyal. They're there when you need them. They're a constant. For the person doing all of that, it means that they're not receiving the energy back. So what's happening? It's going out and it's not coming back in. And this can lead to a lot of burn and drain out and burnout and drain, sorry, not drain, and other things that we're going to talk about in a little bit. So this is the question: how do we live in the extroverted world? And that is the plight of the modern empath. So this is how we live in the extroverted world. There's 3 things that I'm going to share with you today. I'm just going to check that everything here to share with you. You know, there's lots of things. One of the things that I really resonate with is clarity and simplicity, and it doesn't mean it's easy. And that's how I like to share my message with people as well. And I hope that they find it refreshing, because overwhelm is not something any of us needs any more of. And I do what I call teach the shy to fly. I want to empower you with your gifts to learn how to engage with others and how to live in this world comfortably and feel like there's room for you in it and that you're heard. So these three things that I'm going to talk to you about are 3 profound ways that you can do that. Now, what I'm going to share with you are my beliefs. And the reason I'm going to say my beliefs is because you get to try them on. And by trying them on, it's like you feel if it fits you or not. Because a lot of the things from our past have come with us, our family upbringing, society, things about your economic status, your gender, your race, like so many things. It's just programming, right? We've come with all this programming. And I don't want to give you another program. I want you to observe something and try it on and see if it fits, because you are such a different person now than the past programming. So I'm just going to invite you to see if these resonate with you. And one is that it's my job to teach people about me. What I learned is that I wasn't sharing with people what I needed. I wasn't sharing with them my gift in an empowering way. And so it's my job to teach people how to treat me along with my gift. And what ways can you do that? And in what different circumstances can you do that? Because how you teach your colleagues at work or your boss, or how you teach someone in a business meeting is very different than how you teach your partner or your children about your gift. And the reason why this is so important is because it allows your gift to be respected. And so I want you to think of some of the ways that you can teach people. And if you have been teaching people, have you been clear about it? Have you let them know what you need and when? And have you let them know what speaks to you? It's like sharing with them your love language in the HSP empath way. And because if someone knows what you need, if people know what someone needs, most of the world organizes to help them. If you tell someone, I need this, or this is what I can do with this, they want to share it with you. But one of the challenges is sometimes we don't speak up for ourselves. We Even speaking up feels like it takes energy. But if you think about it and you can make a clear request that's going to make a big difference for you, then you're going to be putting that energy out, making the request, but you're going to get it back by someone giving to you. The second thing that I believe is empowering this gift. And it's my job to, and this is my belief, it's my job to let people know how special this is. It's my job to fly my HSP empath flag. And I don't have to do that in a way that that is like, look at me, or, you know, I'm special or whatever, because that certainly doesn't resonate with us. I know that that's not appealing at all. But it allows you to step into your unique power. And that's what it is. I want to empower this gift that we have, because it's so creative. You see things before other people see things. You hear things before other people hear them. How this works in your family, in your relationships, in work. I mean, that means you have this foresight that other people don't have to your level. And the other thing that with the empowering of this gift is the world really needs this right now. It needs foresight. It doesn't need reaction in the moment. It doesn't need, I've waited until the last second and now I'm going to react. It's so much better to plan, see what's coming up. So I want to empower you. What is something you could do to share with someone close to you, whether it is your work environment, whether it's with your family, or your kids? You know, I feel like I describe to my family often, my son in particular, when I'm feeling tired, because he understands that he's not going to get the best of me when I'm feeling tired. Like, I mean, at night when I'm putting him to bed, and sometimes he wants to chat, I will reflect, hey, that like really interesting. You know, if he's having one of those nights where I know it's going to take him a little while to go to sleep, I just let him know, you know, mom's had a really long day. And I can't wait to see you in the morning. But for now, I need to go to bed myself and rest. And he's never questioned it once since I started sharing that information with him, instead of just leaving his room or saying goodnight. So that's an example of how just like a small bit of empowerment makes all the difference when you share it with people. And the third thing is radical self-care. Now, you might feel like you already do this right now. You might feel like I do, you know, give myself self-care by staying in my house and not engaging in the super extroverted world. I do feel like I don't go to parties, or I turn down invitations or things like that. So I want to describe this a little bit more, because part of what we need is we need deep connection with this superpower. We have so much to offer: conversation, creativity, art, thoughts. We need to share that with others. That's our gift to share with the world. So how do we do that and maintain our energy at the same time? Well, it comes with taking care of yourself before you get to the place of burnout, drain, exhaustion, adrenal fatigue, you know, addictions to things. And they don't have to be addictions to drugs or alcohol necessarily, but you could be addicted to like staying at home and not going out into the world and not seeing live music and not going to see, you know, an offbeat movie that's at only that particular one theater, or not going to your friend's housewarming. So this is what I want to introduce to you, is that when I didn't do this, I could easily go to, I called my martyred my martyred headspace, my martyred Mary headspace, where was everybody else? Why were people so draining to me? Why do they have to say that? Why do they need me all the time? You know, all those whys. If you're asking yourself why at that level, you know that it's not a very good question. And the why me was coming up so often. I thought, well, what if it actually is me? And as soon as I realized I had the power to change this, and this is very simple, all that needs to be done to start you off with this is to plan. Because if you plan in your enjoyable events, your yoga classes, forest walks, even your time in the bathtub, if that's what you really want, it will allow you to plan in one function, one party, one family, extended family dinner. So if you put that one thing in, you can like plan around it. What do I need before that? What do I need after that? Do I need to make sure that I don't go out the night prior if I know that I have a work function the next night? Like, start to learn how to work with your gift so that you can still offer it to others. So this one requires some planning. And the other thing is buffer time. In this world, we tend to go from one thing to the next, and those moments of presence can offer us such grounding, and that's available to us all day, moments of transition. And this can be done by breath, breathing in, longer exhale, breathing out, doing that 5 times to transition from work to mom when you get home. It can be done by closing your eyes and envisioning a different space. And so as you're thinking about what would work best for you, even right now, just pause and check in. And when you pause and check in, just check in with your heart. And if you need to, this allows you to delay an invitation. If someone's asked you a question or posed something and you're not sure, just take a breath, because in that moment, in that breath, you've given yourself space for them to perhaps add something to the conversation. You've given yourself a moment to check in with yourself. And if that wasn't enough, you simply say, "Can I get back to you?" And that gives you the space to come back and come from an empowered place, making your decision about, are you going to accept this invitation? Will you accept this new position at work? Can your child sleep over at their friend's house? Whatever it may be, just pausing and checking in with yourself will give you so much information. And so we're getting towards the end that I want to share with you about celebrating. What are the things that you can celebrate with your gift? Can you think of some of those items? I've got some ideas here, but I want to celebrate that you are loyal, that you are a hard worker. Often, you have had to reparent yourself. So, a lot of us are parents ourselves, yet we had to reparent ourselves because we may have been in families that didn't know how to take care of us the way that we needed to be as intuitive, sensitive souls. And I want to celebrate that you know your inner voice and that you're wanting to know more about it. Because most people, quite frankly, they don't want to be friends with their inner voice. They want it to go away. They don't want to befriend it. So you were born knowing that inner voice is your guidance and you're looking to hone that skill. And that you understand that doing your inner work is the way to function in the outer world. A lot of people don't know that. I would say that's another thing about us, is that we don't know all the valuable information that we have to share with people, even about learning about themselves. So, what are some ways that you can celebrate your gift? Because the more you celebrate it, the more you're going to embody it, the more you're going to share it with others, the more it's going to make sense why you have it. And the more that people will respect it, and we can start changing our families and our communities, and eventually politics, if you want. These are a lot of areas that we don't venture into because it's draining to us, the high conflict areas. So it's like, how do we create our space? How do we create our bubble that keeps our energy contained so we can have these conversations? We can be in important meetings. We can make important decisions. We can talk about money and communities and building and financing and all those things. Because that's what's needed right now, is your voice, your input. And so I wanted to finish off by having you think of some of the questions or the language that you can use to help others learn about your gift, and some ways that you can celebrate yourself right now as is. Because the more you celebrate it, the more you're going to go on to celebrate new things that you've learned. And some of the ways that you can continue to have this conversation with me through, I'm going to do this once a month, the Modern Wisdom Conversations. We're going to talk about, and they're not just related to HSPs and empaths, but I mean, this is also how we become this kind, empathic person in the world, regardless of what we were born with. It's how we hone these skills. And so the way that you can continue this conversation with me is by subscribing via email. And I've got one area where you can find everything that we have. And it is thejuicylifecoach.com/bio. So what you're going to find there is, if you're interested in having a What's Possible session, they're 45 minutes. They're free. They're available to anyone that's really interested to know what's possible for them in their life, what they want, how they get there. You can subscribe so you can find out about these talks when they happen again. You could subscribe to our newsletter. There are free downloads. I've got 30 days to upgrade yourself. And it's upgrading to your inner goddess or God, depending on what you resonate with. And there's a quiz there too. If you guys are interested in the one thing that would change everything in your life, as far as wealth, purpose, love and relationships, health, you can take a quiz there as well. So I've really enjoyed having you here today, and I look forward to speaking with you soon.